In Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the Deva is described as a human-like angelic being of unrivaled beauty with wings of golden feathers sprouting from its back. They were typically associated with good-aligned gods, acting primarily as servants and messengers ordered to spread the words of their patron deities across the planes. Most Devas were assigned to specific roles or tasks that they would devote their entire existences to, and would never think to rebel or argue if they ever had a non-dutiful thought at all. The Deva has an AC of 17 and 136 hit points. They have a standard walking speed and a flight speed of 90, as well as amazing stats across the board. They have a +9 to both wisdom and charisma saves, making higher level spells easier to succeed on. They have a slew of resistances and immunities, and have the trait Angelic Weapons, which makes their strikes magical and deal an extra 4d8 radiant damage. They're innate spellcasters with a spell save of 17, and they can cast Detect Evil and Good at will, as well as Commune and Raise Dead once per day each. They have magical resistance, and in combat make a multi-attack of 2 melee strikes with their mace. Each strike has a damage potential of 9 to 42, for a total output of 18 to 84 per turn. They can also cast Healing Touch 3 times per day, giving targets 6 to 34 HP while also removing curses, diseases, poison, blindness, and deafness. They can also change their shape to any humanoid or beast creature of equal or lower challenge rating, maintaining most of their stats while polymorphed in this way. As with most other divine and celestial creatures, it is my belief that they're in the game to aid good-aligned players. The Healing Touch, Commune, and Raise Dead spells allow a DM to use a Deva as a Deus Ex Machina, or to bolster a party against evil. If, however, you're running an evil campaign, or if your players piss off a good-aligned god, they might have a Deva sent out to kill them. As a DM, I would use the Deva in combat as a hit-and-run creature. I would have it flying as much as possible, as it can use the 90 feet movement to close distance with ease, and also use it to avoid melee players. I would have the Deva swoop down to attack healers and spellcasters first, relying on their magical resistance and brute strength to take as little damage as possible, while also dealing massive damage to their targets. Once those targets are down, I would employ the same tactic with melee players, which will likely invoke attacks of opportunity. However, taking a single attack of opportunity from a melee player is always preferable to taking the full damage from their entire action economy, and melee players will be forced to use items, ranged weapons, and the features of their class to do as much damage as possible, or otherwise they will be slowly whittled down as if being hunted by a bird of prey. In Hinduism, the Deva are divine or heavenly beings in direct opposition of the Asuras, who represent the bad aspects of life, the world, and the cosmos. Most Deva are associated with specific forces of nature, moral codes or values, creation itself, or magical powers. Indra, for example, is the king of all deities as well as the god of storms, sky, and moral good. Brahma is the deity of creation, Vishnu the deity of preservation, Shiva the deity of destruction, time, and regeneration, Agni, Varuna, Vayu, and Dayas, the deities of fire, water, air, and sky respectively, and so on. Depending on the source or subset traditions of Hinduism, the names and number of some Devas change, but in all Vedic literature the concept of Deva is the same, with Deva being a divine or supernatural concept rather than a monotheistic god, or even a polytheistic system based on the hierarchy of multiple gods. Instead, Deva itself is meant to convey the overall struggle with morality, divinity, and all other things, and the Devas themselves are meant to be seen as equivalent manifestations of divinity, each of which represents a different perspective or aspect of reverence and spirituality unified under the tenets of morality, righteousness, and peace. In comparing the monster to the myth, we find that the Deva of D&D is related to its origin myth in name only. Instead of being aspects of reality and divinity like in Vedic traditions, the Deva in D&D is more like a messenger angel that works on behalf of the named gods. It is my opinion that the term Deva being used for these creatures may have been a choice to combat the satanic panic of the 80s, as calling the creature an angel and having it fight players might have had negative implications in America and the rest of the Western world at the time. Regardless of the reason, the Deva in mythology is a little piece of perspective of the divine, and in D&D, they're just some big magic guy with wings. If you enjoyed that video, please leave a like and comment below, and consider subscribing to the channel. You can also join the Patreon for $1 a month to access videos days before they're posted here, as well as other exclusive stuff like short stories, videos, and more.